Cover the main trail right now first.
Hear yells calling for help. We're hiking down.
10-4, we're hearing them too towards the end of the lower part of the Devil's Den Trail. Try to relay to the office that we found the victims down here. They're on the lower Devil's Den Trail. I've got two bodies down here.
Double homicide in Devil's Den State Park. Parents gunned down in front of their children. Arkansas police still searching for a cold-blooded killer hiding in plain sight. These are the headlines that stunned the nation on July 26, 2025. In the heart of Arkansas, a family of four set out for a peaceful hike. By sundown, 2 were dead, and 2 little girls were left wandering the wilderness alone, drenched in panic, whispering fragments of a nightmare no child should ever witness. This isn't just another unsolved case. It's a haunting reminder that even the safest trails can turn deadly. The victims were parents, heroes, and the man who took their lives, he's still out there. And what if I told you the first step on that trail was a step straight into a trap? If you're passionate about true crime stories that uncover the truth, expose the darkness, and give a voice to the voiceless, subscribe now and turn on notifications. Because what happened in Devil's Den State Park might just happen again. Now let's begin. It was just past noon on a warm Saturday, July 26, 2025, when Clinton and Cristen Brink loaded their daughters into the car. They'd been planning this hike for weeks. A break from unpacking boxes. A moment to bond in their new home state. The move from South Dakota to Arkansas had been full of promise. Fresh air, new jobs, open trails. Devil's Den State Park offered everything they loved. Peace, nature, time to just be together. They didn't know someone else was already on the trail. Someone who wasn't there to enjoy the view. The girls ran ahead, laughing. Clinton had a hand resting lightly on Kristen's back. He kissed her cheek. She smiled. It would be the last moment of joy this family would ever share. And by the time the girls came running out of the woods, their world had already been shattered. There are things no child should ever see. The daughters, just 7 and 9 years old, stumbled onto a park ranger's path, barefoot, hysterical, coated in sweat and dirt. They couldn't find the words. Just broken pieces of a nightmare. A man, blood, we hid. Daddy yelled. Mommy wouldn't get up. No cell signal. No adults. Just 2 terrified children trying to explain that their parents had died right in front of them. When rangers retraced their steps, they found Clinton and Kristen's bodies sprawled along the trail. Their hands appeared outstretched, as if they were trying to protect their children even in their final breaths. And still, no gunshot was heard, no warning given. The attacker had disappeared without a trace. But as night crept in and the sun vanished behind the trees, he was still out there. The initial reports were slow. Authorities waited hours to notify the public. Campers continued roasting marshmallows under the stars as the trail behind them turned into a crime scene. There was no immediate alert, no evacuation. Behind the scenes, investigators struggled with limited cell coverage, rugged terrain, and a family torn apart. But outside, the silence raised questions. Why the delay? Why not warn others that a killer was possibly still in the park? By the time the statement came, nearly 9 p.m., it was too late. The man who had murdered Clinton and Cristen Brink had vanished into the wilderness. No one saw him leave. And then a blurry photo surfaced, just enough to know someone was watching from the trees. He was captured in a single frame. Not clearly, but just enough to freeze the blood of every person who looked at him. A man in a dark ball cap, sleeves rolled up, Fingerless gloves, a black backpack, his face partially hidden, his posture deliberate. He looked like a hiker, until you noticed his license plate was covered in tape. He wasn't lost. He wasn't a camper. He was prepared. Police labeled him a person of interest, but those who saw the sketch knew better. This wasn't chance. It was calculated. And most disturbing of all, authorities believed he may have been injured in the struggle, which meant someone, somewhere, could be hiding him now, willingly or unknowingly, because if he left blood behind, it might not be his first time. The Brinks weren't naive. They were cautious, loving parents. Clinton was a milk delivery driver preparing for his first week at Highland Dairy. Cristen homeschooled the girls and had just joined a local faith group. The move was meant to be a new chapter. But on that trail, everything changed. Investigators now believe Clinton tried to fight. Witnesses say his hands were bruised. There were signs he made noise, diverting attention away from the girls. It's likely that he knew. He knew they might not all survive. And he made a choice. He took the brunt of it. Cristen, too, was found with signs she shielded the girls in her final seconds. They died trying to save their daughters. But the question remains, why? Why were they targeted at all? The FBI joined the case days later. Hundreds of tips flooded in. Park visitors sent photos, dash cam videos, GoPro clips. And from that chaos came a clue, a reflection in a water bottle. A boot print near an area rangers say was off trail. A silhouette in the distance, captured by a motion camera meant to track deer. Authorities went silent. They asked the public not to post what they had, not to give the killer an edge. Behind the scenes, they were building a timeline. They believed he didn't pick the Brinks randomly. He may have stalked the park before. He may even be familiar with other incidents, ones that didn't get this kind of attention. And then, investigators discovered something in the footage that changed everything. It's been days, weeks. The girls are now with relatives. Their lives are forever altered. Childhood memories tainted by the image of their parents' final moments. Clinton and Cristen Brink are gone, but their story is not over. The suspect remains at large. Police believe he's still in the area, or possibly watching coverage online. Waiting, watching, blending in. People don't just vanish. Someone knows who he is. Someone has seen that car. Someone noticed blood, or fear, or silence in a man who came home acting different. But until that someone speaks, the Brinks daughters will fall asleep knowing the man who destroyed their family might walk free. And somewhere out there, he might be choosing his next trail. Maybe it's already marked on his map. Maybe he's already watching his next target, just like he watched the Brinks. 2 innocent lives taken. 2 little girls left with memories they'll never escape. And a killer who vanished without a trace. No name, no face, just a shadow in the trees. This story doesn't end here. Not until he's caught. Not until justice speaks louder than silence. If this case moved you, share it. Speak up. Stay aware. And above all, don't forget their names. Subscribe for more real stories that deserve to be heard. Because the next chapter could break tomorrow.